acknowledged and validated for what he's done in our industry and what he continues to do. I think that a lot of this was just too much for him. I think his breaking point was him and Jay's falling out. Just my opinion. I think that was the breaking point. I think that's where the levees broke. But I think that, opioid addiction, pill addiction, racked him. His mother's death racked him. His thought of what his fame should be at that time and who should be there also got a hold of him. And I think that he had a mental breakdown. And I don't blame. He's telling us don't use his mental breakdown as a reason for why his thoughts are the way it is. He doesn't want you to handicap him with his mental breakdown. He doesn't want to be he doesn't want his legacy to be he had a mental breakdown. And I understand that. But at the same time, I think that his woeful willfulness to go left just because it is the anti of right. Like, I don't believe that he believes in a lot of this stuff. I just think that he is fighting for the right to go left. And no one's stopping him, though. That's the wild thing. He doesn't realize that his power and influence means no one can stop you from going left. Go left. But you want us to say that it's okay for you to go left and we're going to go right and everything's all good. But you have to understand that any decision that you make out here in life, and this goes for all of us, every decision that we make has a consequence. And the way people decide to react to our decisions and to our own manifestos, we have to be able to stand on that too. It's not about you just giving your opinion and then kind of running away and saying, well, I gave my opinion and that should be that. Nobody don't got the right to be mad at it and don't nobody got... Listen, you have the right to your opinion, but you have to know that people then have the right to retort. And you just got to deal with it. That's what comes with having that opinion. Period. I don't care who he loves politically. I don't care. I don't care what his opinion is. I don't. And I definitely don't need to spend one dime on Jesus is King to know that. Nobody ain't checking for no goddamn Kanye album, bruh. And that's real. Ain't nobody out here checking for no Kanye album right now. I will tell you this. The album is projected to be #1, selling more than 250,000 copies. Now, I know that he's a culturalist. There's people who are going to be faithful to him as a brand, and he knows it. So he knows he can deliver this way. This is a rap album. It's not a Christian album. It's not. Period. All right. Let's just take a break and we'll come back and we'll set the table. This week we setting the table for intention, so come on back.
Hey, this is Gail from A Seat at the Table podcast. Now you already know that Anchor is the easiest way for you to record. We already know that. You already know that Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free. They'll distribute your podcast to all the major labels, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Google Podcasts, and you can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Listen. I understand that you girls are out here spending money on studios and what have you, but if you're smart, you'll download Anchor app right now. Go to anchor.fm to get started. Tell them A Seat at the Table podcast sent you.
And we are back. And this week we are setting the table for intention. The reason that I thought that intention would be pertinent is a lot of times I talk about how I take some time early in the morning to meditate, right? Set intentions for the day. And I think somewhere in between there, the lines kind of got blurred for me. I started to see my goals as my intentions, if that makes any sense. So like, I would see like, okay, so today I'm going to record the podcast and I'm going to do this. I'm going to, do that, do this. I'm going to do these things and I'll check off my to-do list, right? And that'll really that's my intention for the day. And I think that like those goals, I started to get them blurred with intention. So there are moments where I know like, okay, well today I intend for everyone who comes across my pathway to receive some sort of positivity from me. You know what I mean? Or sometimes my intention today is kindness. Like I intend to be kind all day. I intend to be communicative all day. I intend to whatever, right? So it dawned on me that if I was confusing my intentions with my goals, there would be no doubt that perhaps you were doing the same thing. So I figured let's set the table for intention. So first of all, we got to find out what's the difference between an intention and a goal. Now, first of all, it goes without saying that goals are important. They help you plan for the future, right? But goals involve a specific destination or an achievement. Like I intend to do my laundry today. Yes, I intend to, but that's a goal. That's not an intention, right? Intentions are about you specifically, right? Intentions are regard to who you want to be and what you want to contribute to the world. That's an intention. A goal may not or may involve others. And it's really more about something that goes to benefit you only a lot of the time. Yeah, it'd be nice if it benefits other people. But for the most part, goals are really just about you. Intentions are about what you choose to give to the world. Does that make sense? Intentions allow us to raise our emotional quotient, thereby raising our energy quotient, also raising our physical energy. So intentions kind of feel like yes, there's something that is, I don't know. You ever intended to, like I just intend on being a positive person all day. Not just positive person, like I'm going to say nice things all the time or whatever. I just want to be a kind person today. I want people to feel that energy and that warmth. When you set intentions and you're able to deliver, it almost feels like an aura of heat comes over you. Like you just feel, I can't describe it any other way. Like if I've ever meditated on intention, which is what I try to do daily when I get up in the morning and I just kind of like stare out into that blank space and there's no TV on and there's no sound. And I'm just thinking to myself, what do I want this day to be? Like, not just like, what do I want to accomplish today? But like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to take things so personally today. Maybe I just don't want to be angry today. Maybe I just want to like radiate joy today. Maybe today I just want to be the most honest version of myself that I could be. And it's like every time you are met with the challenge of meeting your intention and you pass it, there's something that almost like an aura that comes over you. So for a lot of us, it's like, how do I carve intentionality into my life? Because it's more than just closing your eyes and saying, I want to be a good person today. It's more than that, right? So how? All right. So first of all, you got to make setting intentions a ritual. It can't just be a one-time thing, or just because you have that meeting today, you want, you know what I mean? Or just because, you know, you're going to be doing this or trying a new venture, you want to set an intention for that. Intentionality has to be ritualistic, meaning you have to indoctrinate it into your life all the time. Setting intentions has to be ritualistic. The other part is intentions have to be specific. I intend to ... right? So I intend to, one of my things was, all right, I intend to not take things so personally at work. You know, if someone says that they don't want to, you know, do the project, or they don't see the vision that I see, instead of taking it as a personal attack, just know that they're attacking. Like, I can't let my ego get intertwined with the thing that they're saying they don't like, because then that's when I'm going to take it personal. So I have to take a moment to be present enough to untwine my ego from the job that I'm doing, so that any feedback is just that. It's just feedback. It's not about me. Or even in the way that I communicate. Okay, so I want to set an intention to be more clear about my emotions. You know? Something super specific. I want to lead by example, maybe. So you got to make those kind of things, like, you got to be specific about your intention. The other part of that is when you are setting an intention, you have to allow your mind to think beyond the scope of where you can see. You have to allow your mind to feel, to manifest the feeling of what that intention feels like, right? So, for example, I said lead by example, right? And maybe that's in your familial life. All right, so I want to set an intention to lead by example. What does that feel like? Allow your mind to even just go there and see. If I were to lead by example in my family, from an emotional standpoint, from a mental health standpoint, from a physical health standpoint, what would that look like? How would I share that with them? How would I do that without feeling like I was trying to change what they were doing? Just made it about me. What would that feel like? Right? So if you're intending for positivity to be what you want to emit, then you have to allow the abundance of positivity to take over you. It's like allowing yourself to dream that something that you mentally can see, dreaming and physically feeling what that space feels like. Now, the crazy part is, and this is where a lot of people lose it with intention, is that once you feel what that feels like and you feel that euphoria, you then have to let that feeling go. Right? You got to let that love feeling go, because you got to let that, like, okay, this is what I envision it to be. Because if it doesn't work out like that, that's okay. That's okay. You have to be able to let go of that space where you envision something manifesting, if that makes any sense. So you got to be able to feel it, feel that it could happen, but also let go of it happening. And then when it's all said and done, you have to reflect with gratitude. When it's all said and done, at the end of you setting your intention and feeling like it could happen, you got to let go of that feeling, take a deep breath, and let the world know that regardless of what happens today, I accept it with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this. Thank you for giving me this lesson. It's not about whether or not the lesson works out the way that I want, but I'm setting an intention for positivity because I believe that there is more than an abundance of that exists in this world, that I can have a piece. And once I know what that feels like and I can feel it and I can manifest it, I have to let go of that being the only thing that I'm worried about. I got to let it go. And then I got to thank the earth